Well, good morning, everyone. Here we are on April the 16th. Yay! And that makes the weather outside even more incredible. It's we're hit with a bit of freezing rain, but it's not going to be as bad as what they thought it was. It's going to be turning to rain. If it's not already rain, it's supposed to be rain this afternoon. So it's Toronto got hit pretty bad though, apparently. So we're continuing reading today, and we've taken a pause in 1 Samuel as we look at the Psalms that David wrote during the season that he was going through. And what we find in the first couple of Psalms that we read this morning is this declaration of trust, the declaration that he belongs to God and he trusts. It's a declaration. And then what follows that is really the heart-wrenching cries of a man who's really has lost everything, and for no fault of his own, and facing the enemies and constantly on the run, and he's surrounded by not the most upstanding citizens of the country. So that must have been a real challenge for him, because this is a righteous man, a man who grew up in a righteous family, and he was an employee of the king, and he was a commander of troops, and now he's a commander of riffraff, and they're all looking to him for leadership and answers. And it must have been a hard bunch to be able to manage. And at points in the Psalms, you can just see he's tired. He's just tired. He's looking for relief. And what's really surprising, you read through these Psalms and you realize that David is really a seeker of peace. Yeah, and one of them, he says he keeps talking peace, and the people around him keeps talking war. And David was not a warmonger. He fought when he had to fight. He went out at the request of the king. He faced the enemy that kept trying to invade and attack Israel. But he had no desire for violence. And here he is surrounded by all these violent people. And so the heart-wrenching cry is just crying out to God for rescue. But it's a position of trust. He didn't go anywhere else. At one point he declares that all he possesses is the Lord. All he possesses in all the world is the Lord. And by that he means the relationship with the Lord. And we really should give us pause to think. And we who live in Canada, we really live under a socialist government. Some people don't want to recognize that, but we expect the government to look after us. We expect the government to run programs that will put food on our table and money in our pocket. We expect to have a medical system that we pay for through our taxes, but by no other means. And where do we run to? Who do we expect? If everything we owned is gone, would we say that the only thing we possess is the Lord? And would we still declare trust in Him? Do we know what it is to trust Him? Do we know Him as our provider? Have we seen Him as our provider of the past? Do we have testimonies of provision? Do we have testimonies where He's rescued us in situations? Do we have these testimonies that we can lean on and say He's done it for me in the past and He doesn't change, so He's going to do it for me today? And these declarations of trust. Who do we worship? Just when you read how people of the past, and it's not just David, but David is the example that's set before us, but that we can read of many of our brothers and sisters who have gone through terrible times, and have stood with the Lord, have declared and trusted the Lord. Would we be counted in those numbers? Are we counted in those numbers? Are we trusting? Well, I'm determined to trust today. I'm declaring today that He is my God, or I'm His child, and I trust Him in everything that I will face today, in every situation. And there's no need for anger in me. I should be a man of peace. It's His fight, and I just do what he tells me to do and trust him in those things. So I pray today that will be your determination. You will trust the Lord. You will call out to him. You will seek him, and you will bless him with your heart and with your. This, if you need to cry out in that way, cry out in that way. Cry out to him. Lay it all on him, and he'll respond. Every good parent responds to the cries of their children. So be blessed, be encouraged, and be used by him today.